Hey guys, I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight at team night. It's really important. I know team night is, but one of my spiritual mothers graduated on to heaven. She's been suffering the last little while, but she was the one who really prayed me through the crisis in my life. She taught me how to pray, and so I have the honor of doing her funeral tomorrow and the gravesite and sharing what she meant to my life. So I am so thankful I'm able to do that. But I didn't want to miss tonight with you because I wanted to share with you about this thing I want to call it Make It Better. I have a little quote there in your notes that says, striving for excellence motivates us. Striving for perfection frustrates us. We need to create a culture in our life, in our business, wherever we are, of what we call continual improvement. On the Petty Ride this year, Anita and I went to the Harley Davidson CVO factory there in Pennsylvania, and we noticed that they had what they called the CIS, Continual Improvement System. And what they wanted people to do is people who actually do the work to help them. So we put a little poster out for you out in the foyer, and I'm hoping that you put some ideas on there. So what we're going to do with that note, with that poster, is that we're going to put it in the one of the rooms that'll be easy access for you with some sticky notes. And if you have an idea that you say, you know what, I think we could make maybe the offering better. Maybe we could make how we greet people at the door better, how we facilitate better. Put an idea and sign your name, and then we as a staff will look at that and the elders and maybe some ideas that we can use. But don't get mad now if you put something down and it's not used or it's not used the way you thought it should be. But I want to talk about creating a culture. That's in word, creating a culture of continual improvement. I think we all want to see improvement wherever it is, in our life, at church, in our business, our community. And improvement becomes a catalyst for a momentum. Momentum is always the result of something that's new, improved, or improving. So how do we keep improving? Well, we have to create a culture, not just a concept. It can't be just a vision or an idea. It actually has to be part of the culture that we have. Every organization that I know of, every church, every company that gets continual improvement right, they do two things. It's there in your notes. They're always evaluating. Every event we have, we used to do what is right, wrong, missing, confusing, because we wanted to do it better. But now we just say two things. What was right, and how can we improve it the next time that we do that? And then the second thing is incorporating. We want to be quick to not just evaluate, but to incorporate what's working for other people. We're looking for the best ideas, not just our ideas. I believe in copying, making it better, and then giving it away, because it all belongs to God anyway. And when we talk about change, most people are up for change until change happens. The devil's in the details. We all want change, but when it affects my department, my schedule, something else, then that's where, it hits the flame. But we have to create a church culture of always improving. People ask, what's culture? When we talk about culture, it could be culture or values. It's the it's a personality of an organization, a church, or a company. It's the unwritten rules that determine how we act, how we react, how we communicate, how we treat people, what we celebrate. It's the personality of the organization. In fact, your home has a culture. There are values that you have in your home. It's the culture is how we do things in our company, how we do things at the Father's house. May not be the best way, may not be the way that you did it at your church, but it's the way that we do it here. In your notes, I list the culture of the TFH, or the values. It's expressive worship, reaching the lost, intentional growth, community, excellence, honor, generational development, and generosity. And I know we may have those, and people say, well, what are they? And I hope in the future we can clarify those a little bit better. The longer that we are a leader in a church or an organization, the less we are aware of the culture that is around us. So it's not enough for us to just say, hey, we need as leaders to help define this culture, but the church, the company, your business has to adopt it. So let me give you a template, a framework of how to implement any kind of culture. So tonight we're talking about continual improvement. So here it is. Number one, name it. Name it. What is it? What is the phrase? What are you trying to come up with? Well, I'm talking here about continual improvement. We want to develop a culture where continual improvement is in the front and the center of the Father's house. That we don't become lazy and complacent, but we want to work on it. So we have to name it. Say, for instance, if we wanted to develop the culture of expressive worship, we would name it. Hey, we want to develop a culture of expressive worship. So in your business, whatever it is, you have to name what that is in your culture that you want to see happen. Second of all, we brand it. We name it and we brand it. It's one thing to say it, but it's another way to say it that it's not beige, like, okay, continual improvement. That's kind of beige, all right? There's no inspiration about that. But how do we take this concept of continual improvement and making it excited? How do we put it in a phrase, a word, or a picture where it's memorable or portable, or so we brand it? And so, man, I would challenge some of you right now to take some of those cultural values that we have and come up with some creative phrases, some sentences, a term to make it stick, a mantra, something that's conversational. So when we say we want constant improvement, here's what we're going to start saying. I've adopted this from Craig Groeschel. He said it, and I don't think I could say it any better. It's just simply make it better. And so when I look at that, I wonder, is that not what excellence is? We say excellence is one of our cultural values at the Father's house, but I really think it's just make it better. We use phrases already like circles are better than rows. Do for one what you wish you could do for all. So when we talk about branding it, it's not a paragraph, it's the thing, the image. So that when you say it, people say, oh, I know what you mean for that. Number 3, model it. We as leaders have to be seen doing it. We have to wear it. We have to model it. People have to see me. People can see in me what I hope them to see, what I hope for them to see and be, and so then it happens. Culture is shaped by the leaders. We have to behave, not just believe it. People have to see us doing it. We do what we want people to do, and ultimately people will do what we want them to do. Let me say that again. We as leaders do. We leave tonight out of this team meeting doing what we want people to do, and ultimately people will do what we want them to do. If I want to see constant improving, making it better in the Father's house, then I have to wear it. I have to say to myself, am I getting better? Am I improving? Am I better in such a way that the staff notices it? Are you making your department better, or are you just getting ready for Sunday? Listen, here's a question. If everybody on your team did what you're doing, would they be getting better, or would they just be busy? I have to wear it. Intentional, personal, continually making it better. Number 4, we have to teach it. We have to teach it. Not just say that's what it is, but we have to teach it and reteach it. And you say, well, I'm not much of a public speaker in my organization or my department. Let me give you 5 questions that you can fill out, and it'll help you when you get ready to help develop the culture in your department. Number 1, what it is. What is it? Well, it's continual improvement. Number 2, why is it important? Here's why it's important that we embrace it. Number 3, what will it require of us? If we're going to have a culture that's characterized by making it better, we're going to have to make some changes. I'm going to have to make some changes in our organization. Some changes in how that I teach to make it better. What will it require of me? And then what does it look like here? What does it look like here in our department, in our ministry, in our church, in your company? And the last one there is what's at stake. That's the inspirational and the motivational. What's at stake? Well, if we don't keep making it better, we're going to go out of business. Somebody will take it over. Our future, our product, our customers, fulfilling the destiny that God has for us. And number 5, recognize it in the area that we're talking about, the template. Recognize it. When you see something, say something. When you see somebody doing it right, say something publicly. Hey, I want you to notice how, whatever it is, first time Rob Miller came in to the church as a guest, he walked in the lobby and there was a piece of paper on the floor, and he stopped and he picked it up. And Anita said to him that day, and she said it later, that's an example. That's an example. That's what we want, making it better. And so when you see somebody doing, send them a note. Do it public. Make sure that people know that you're seeing that. And here are our last two questions. When we talk about our department in the church, what feels tired? Is it your office? Is it the organization? What's tired? You see, if it's tired, we're not continually improving it, making it better. And where are we manufacturing energy? Where do you have to force yourself? Drum up passion. Say, okay, we're going to have a team night, and you say, hey, I want everybody to come, or maybe say, hey, we're having a small group at my house to do some training, and I want everybody to come. But in yourself, you're just drumming up the passion. You're manufacturing energy. I mean, you wouldn't even go yourself if you weren't in charge. So if there are areas that's like that, we've got to say, how can we make it better? How can we make it better? So I'm going to encourage you to use the little board that we have of Make It Better. Start with yourself. What can you do this week to begin making what you do better personally, in your family, in your job, and at the Father's house? Let me pray for you. Father, I pray right now in your name, Lord, starting with me and starting with our elders and our team, show us ways to make it better. Each department, how we greet people at the front, how we treat people, how we seek people, how we lead people in worship. Show us, Lord, how to make it better. I love you guys, and I thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.